You can never go back, they say. You can never cross the same river twice. But how can I find out what I've done in Query Editor? Alright, lads and lasses, welcome along. Weekend work here again. So what we're going to look at today, I'll tell you what, let's get over to the demo view. What I'm going to look at today really is the right hand side of the Query Editor view, right? And it's these applied steps. And it's important, we keep saying you can go up and down and back and forth through them, but I don't know if it necessarily has always all made sense to you. Because once you get your head around it, it's really simple. But when you first look at it, it just seems to be a list of items. Right? Once you understand, you can go up and down through these, and you can see your data in the state that it is at that point. You start to get your head around what's actually going on. There's more to it, and there'll be more that we'll come back to, but it's key to start to get to that point. So we said, this is where your data starts. So source is always the original, the first point of it. Yeah. What's happened with it? So in this case, it's pointing to a folder. And we can see that because the M script is at the top. Now, if you can't see that for any reason, it's because if you go to view, you haven't got the formula bar selected. That's all it is. So we've figured out how to show a formula bar, which is key. That allows you to just start getting used to seeing some of the M that's being written on your behalf by the application. And there's nothing wrong with letting Power Query write the M for you. In terms of manually writing M, it's useful to do, and there are times I still do it, but if the app will do it, why write it yourself? You know what I mean? So what it allows you to do is we can go through and we can see what we've done. So we've connected to a folder. We've filtered that folder down, so we're just looking at the XML content within the folder. We can then see this is a step that it adds when you put in the function that you're going to combine everything. It adds this hidden files. You can now come through and you can see it's going to invoke the custom function that it's written, renaming the columns, removing everything else, so we just have the file, and then lastly we're going to expand the table content, and that way you suddenly have, here is all our tables, right, that we've got, or all the content from within the XML files. The classic step you next have is this change type, and then we start to get into areas that we're building and we're doing things with. But it's nice to be able to go up and go back and go forth and see exactly what's happening. So if we look at this, one of the things we can do is we can say, oh, I can see here, we've removed all these other columns were removed from the data. So if I go in beforehand, let's go in the step before, and we can see here, right, I'm just going to simulate something, we'll just upset it. So we're going to insert the step to rename address line 2 to address line. And what you'll see is if we come down here, we've suddenly got an error. Now this is good, because if you were here and you'll see, I've thrown an error, my data's not working, what can I do? Right, I can click on the step to go to the error, and it will show me the error occurred in this remove columns step. So 9 times out of 10, the error is happening the step before, if that makes sense. You know, the error is risen here, I can't do something, but it'll tell you what it can't do. So in this case, the expression, let's zoom in so we can see it properly. So address line 2 of the table was not found. Okay, so address line 2. So one of the things we would need to do is look and see, well, where's address line 2? Is there something happening in address line 2? Now, a nice way to do that is, as I say, you go to the step before. It's oftentimes I see it's happening in that, and we know this is where it's happening. So what I can do though, and what you can do as well to help, is you can use the advanced editor. So if you click on the advanced editor to open it and bring it in, you could always copy this into Notepad and look and see, well, where is this happening? And unfortunately, there isn't a search in this one, but that would yield to you the step that it held. And what we can see if we zoom in, we can see we've got these step names. So we've got source, we've got filtered rows, we've got these. These are the step names, if you remember. So we can look and we can see, if we copied this out into Notepad and search for address 2, we would find it here. we would see, it's renamed the column. So it's this renamed column step. Don't change it in the advanced editor unless you know what you're doing. But straight away, this helps because we can now see where the issue is. And there's different ways to fix different issues. In this case, what we would probably do is delete the step. So we can do that if we zoom back out. So now if we zoom back out, we can see, we know it's this step here, this renamed column step. So all I need to do is I can just click delete. The little cross is there, you can click delete. It's nice to do it this way because it will update the M script below it and make it work. If you do it just in the advanced editor, you have to make sure you tell it what step is, what the next step is, or what the source step is for the step below. Okay. So I would, at this point, just do it here. So we can just click to remove the column. We could also have gone in the remove column step. Now we know what's happened. If this was something that we knew about, we weren't too concerned about, we could choose to go in here and rename this to address line 2. So both will work. Okay. But what I'll do, keep it simple. I'm just going to delete that step. So I'm going to click rename column, choose to delete it, and we see it all starts to work again. So get comfortable with the applied steps. Make sure you're prepared to go back and forth, up and down through it. Don't be afraid to go into the advanced editor and copy stuff into Notepad to do text searches. It's a really useful skill, and especially when you're going through the early stages of Power BI, and this is one of the counterintuitive things, but the early stages you often find you have to do a lot more applied steps than you will do once you get a more mature Power BI environment. So have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Ta-da.